Hi again, I'm Tom from TuneProducer.com. Today, I get to sit down and talk with a full-time working bass player, Paul Ranieri. He's an amazing musician. You describe your playing style and writing style as cinematic. Tell us a little bit about that and how it really relates to your bass playing.
Good question. I'm a pretty visual person. I grew up always around art and artists, and I think in a very visual sort of style, so I kind of equate it to a song as a movie. I think of songs as movies, and I think of the instruments as actors, especially bass playing. Like the secret of great bass playing is not to overdo it, and I see it as like it's kind of like a sea monster, and you're on the ocean, you're in a boat, and you see kind of glimpses of it here and there, and it pops up and it disappears, and it pops up over here and it disappears. In a song, if you think of the song as a movie, the bass is an actor, the guitar is an actor, drums are actors, and so it's a question of, bass. Sometimes it's the main actor in the scene, and sometimes it's just a supporting actor in the scene. And so that's what I think of. That's how I think of how my own songwriting and music, and when I'm just hearing a song for the first time, I think of it like visually in those terms. So that's how I kind of like to do it.
So you're a movie maker?
In a way, right?
Sounds
Sure.
that way to me.
It sounds like I'm making a movie. Sure.
You're involved in a number of successful projects. One is a swing big band. You're primarily known as a rock fusion funk player. What attracted you to this swing project?
Honestly, well, swing music's usually very happy. And since I'm a very...
Ain't that the truth?
Right? Well, I'm a very serious person normally, so any chance I get to relax a little bit and lighten up, I try to take. So the thing that appealed to me with swing music, and it's not just swing music, it's the scene in general, and this was really important to me because I like the culture of it, I like the people, I like the style, and it goes into the whole retro thing that I'm kind of known for, and it goes into all of those parts and images to it, and I like the women look better, the whole pinup scene was
Betty
cool.
Grable.
Betty Grable, right? Betty Page, more like it, and all that, and the rockabilly scene, the rockabilly kind of swing scene that they're kind of like this. So I liked all of that. I appreciated it. The people much cooler. It's a much cooler hang than other scenes that I happen to be in the circles that I'm involved in. I just like those. The people were cool.
It's definitely happy, exciting kind of music.
Well, yeah, because what's better than dancing?
Exactly.
And that type of dancing, that's real dancing, Sally. Let me tell you. I mean, that's actual just.
It's very physical.
Yeah, it's physical, but it's just so cool. And I thought, as a bass player, how can I get involved in that sort of scene? Well, okay, swing big band. And that was the way I kind of, with a backdoor kind of sense, but that's how I kind of thought to get it in there, yeah.
It's nice. Sounds great. Sounds like an exciting project.
Make people happy. And the main one, we're called Rock This Town. And we go all over internationally as well, and just try to bring swing music to the masses more and more. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
Fabulous. Do you like traveling on the road?
I do. It's always nice to come home, of course, but yeah, just to go out and just, get away from the routine sometimes.
Well, your road trips, do they tend to be long or like a weekend away or a month away?
Nowadays, it's very rare to be away for more than 2 weeks at a time. And that's called spot touring, really, where, you have 1 or 2 shows at a time, you come back, then you go out a few days later, and then you come back for a week, and then you go out for another week. And that's a lot of bands can only afford to do that. Nobody can afford, really, unless you're at such a high level and you're playing, huge arenas and things like that, and you've got a long tour booked. But normally, bands can't, as a working musician, as a professional musician, we can only keep the band on the road for 1 or 2 shows, and we come back, and then we go out again. So that's how it kind of works out nowadays.
You also work with Mark Wood, the violinist. In what capacity do you work with him? I know there's some interesting things that you're doing with him, and I think our audience would like to hear it.
I've been his bass player and sometimes music director for 15 years. And we go all over the world. What Mark is a genius, absolute musical genius, and I am so fortunate to be involved with him, and he's just so inspiring, and he's really the hardest working man in show business. He is up at like 6 a.m., so God bless him, and he does all the things that he does, and he really is an inspiration that way, not just musically, but for his work ethic is incredible. And he has his own music foundation, and what we do, we go all over the world, and we do a music education program, and it's called Electrify Your Strings.
Electrify Your Strings.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it also gives me a chance as a bassist to play with huge orchestras, 100-piece, 200-piece, 300-piece, 1,000-piece orchestras we've done all over the world. And that's just such a great feeling to be in the middle of this musical storm of kids and professionals and just this sound and this thing that moves you forward as you perform, and that's great. So we go all over the world to do that, and that's great to be involved in, to bring music to kids that wouldn't have the opportunity to do this. All I know is that when I was 11 years old, if somebody like Mark Wood came to town, and oh my God, you can be a rock star. It's the greatest thing in the world to bring kids out of their shell and see them transform to this very quiet and shy individual until they're rocking it on stage with us in front of thousands of people. That's great. So I'm very happy and proud of my association with that.
Sounds nice. Shout out to Mark Wood.
Yes.
You have a project that's more in keeping with what I would expect from you, Mondo Electro.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting
Yeah.
step away from the Mark Woods and,
Yes.
and the swing band.
Yeah, I try to keep it interesting for myself, right? Involved in a bunch of different things. So, Mondo Electro is a project between myself, a jazz keyboardist named Mark Adams, and a guitar player, Rob Embach, and we're going through different drummers at the moment, but we might have settled on somebody. But it's really kind of old school fusion, Return to Forever, Chick Corea, Stanley Clarke, that sort of idea with little Weather Report, Spyro Gyro, who knows.
So the music is basically what we understood in the 70s to be fusion.
Correct. Fusion, right. With some rock, funk, even some Brazilian, Latin influences.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's pretty cool because I get to kind of get my stretch out a little bit and things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting that to the next level.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think as a working musician, you must have some goals. I mean, aside from putting food on the table, music goals.
Mm-hmm.
What is your driving force? What is the driving force behind what you do?
Getting my own way. My long-term and short-term goals, of course, are really getting as much as myself out into the scene and building the brand. The
Paul Ranieri brand.
Paul Ranieri brand, or the Ranieri theory, or
the Ranieri theory.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that. It was going to be called Paul Ranieri and the Ass Kickers of the Fantastic, but we kind of shortened it to Ranieri theory. Yeah, just really getting more of myself out there, because I think I have a lot to say musically, and I want to just be able to say it. So that's very important to me.
And this is a tough one, I think. How do you balance all that music stuff with family? I know you have a family there.
I'm very fortunate that my family, my wife, is supportive of what I do, and I'm very, very happy about that, because what's that old saying? Your happiness or your misery, it depends. 80% depends on who you marry. That sort of thing. So I'm very happy that she's a great person, my wife Jessica, and my daughter Ava. And shout out to them, and just they're so very supportive and very, very happy about that. And listen, you have to do it. I'm not just doing it for myself, because I would get bored. But if I do it for somebody else, them really, to make them proud of what I do also, because after I'm gone, there's my daughter going to be looking on YouTube or whatever the equivalent will be in the next 30, 40, whatever it is years. So, oh, that was my dad, so that type of stuff does mean something to me.
Mm-hmm. You also brought this beautiful bass here with you today, which you can describe to us for a minute.
An Alembic Series 1, and it's a beautiful instrument. Built in 1975. Ooh, look at this. 1975. This is for all the gearheads out there, and it is number 246. So this is one of the oldest alembics floating around out there, and it's beautiful, and it's one of the main instruments that I play, and yeah, it's look for it in videos and things like that, and yeah, I'm happy to have it.
Yeah,
cool.
Look at that, it's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. Weighs a ton.
It does. I can attest to that.
American craftsmanship, folks.
Never will I ever complain about the weight of a Les Paul.
Yeah, that's right. After that, sure.
So, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us a little bit.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. It's always nice to see how my friends are doing, and I do have a lot of friends in the music industry, and I'm glad that you're one of them.
Well, you're a friendly guy, so yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Plus, as Andy Aladort said, I offer free lunch.
Then I'm there, as anybody knows me. Can attest to. As long as the martinis are with it.
This is Tom for TuneProducer.com, your connection for inside information about the music entertainment business. Please like us on Facebook and subscribe to TuneProducer.com on YouTube. Thanks again for watching. Next week, Dan Polakar will be sitting down with me for an interview.